Mantour Ministries presents the Mantour Guy podcast. We may talk about football. We could mention bacon. We might reference Rocky movies. We'll probably discuss the Mantour conferences, but we'll definitely talk about how to grow in our walk with God. Here's your host, the Mantour Guy, Jamie Holden.
Hey guys, welcome to the Mantour Guy podcast. Jamie Holden here. We're so happy to have you join us again today. Well guys, in today's podcast, we're going to be mixing it up a little bit. Back when we originally started this podcast, I wanted it to be a way to help men grow in their walk with God. And the goal was to have practical topics that all of us men deal with and use different formats to address these topics. Our aim was to have guests on to discuss these relevant topics that, we all struggle with, so you, our listener, can both learn from their example, but also realize that you're not alone. There are other men out there living for God, and we've been doing that over the past few weeks. I also wanted to share with you powerful messages from places like our Mantour conferences and when they have the Pendle Potomac men's conferences. And we've been doing that, bringing you these messages, letting you hear them, experience them, and just learn from the wisdom of these great sermons that these men have been bringing. But we also want to have episodes where I share thoughts and teachings on topics that affect all men, and just so I could share my heart with you about these topics. Well, guys, today is going to be one of those types of podcasts. It's going to be the first time we really do this kind of a podcast today. And one huge area that so many face on a daily basis is our money and finances. It's a huge issue in everyone's lives. We all have to handle money every day. It's unavoidable. We all stress about paying bills and supplying our needs. Like I said, money cannot be avoided. So today in the podcast, we're going to talk about this topic. And we're going to look at 10 ways that you can completely destroy your finances. Okay, now I know what you're thinking. You're asking, Jamie, why would I want to destroy my finances? Who wants to have destroyed finances? Isn't the goal, to avoid financial destruction? Well, exactly, guys. We all want to handle our money wisely. We all want to have financial health, and we want to have prosperity. And that's why we're going to look at what to avoid doing if you want to succeed financially. It's going to be like 10 do not enter signs on the road to financial security. If you do these things, you'll be in grave danger. But if you avoid these 10 things, you're going to avoid a lot of heartache and pain in your finances. So guys, let's get started looking at 10 ways to destroy your finances. Number 10, if you want to destroy your finances, don't pay your bills on time. Think it's not important to pay your bills on time? Well guys, think again. When you don't pay your bills on time, it can have a really negative impact on your financial future. They're going to charge you late fees, and then when you get behind your bills, the balance of these late fees continues to grow and grow. And it's also going to impact your credit score and your credit worthiness. And it's going to make it difficult, if you need to get approved for a new credit for like an auto loan or a mortgage or refinancing or things like that. A bad credit score can hurt your personal life too. It can keep you from getting a job, it can affect your car insurance payments, and it can keep you from being approved to rent an apartment. So if you keep putting off paying your bills, you're gonna meet nice people at the collection agency real fast. And not only will they put enormous pressure on you to pay your bill, but they're gonna charge you huge, exorbitant fees for managing your account. They're also gonna probably charge you interest and late payments. Guys, that's money right out of your pocket. And they're not exactly known for keeping secrets at the credit agencies. They're gonna tell your credit problems to other credit agencies, and your credit score is going to get even worse. If all that isn't enough, not paying your bills on time is going to give you a bad reputation. You'll become known as unreliable and financial risk, and companies aren't going to want to do business with you. They may even start making you pay up front before they'll give you services. It's going to be hard to get a cell phone service, cable service, and many other basic utility services, all because you didn't pay your bills on time. It's like being in a fast lane to financial disaster. So make sure, guys, you start making your bill payments on time. But if you want to destroy your finances, go ahead and keep missing those payments. Number 9, if you want to destroy your finances, guys, do not tithe. Why would I say that? Well, Malachi 2:18 says, "Will mere mortal rob God? Yet you rob me." But you ask, how are we robbing you? And God says, in tithes and offerings, you're under a curse, your whole nation, because you're robbing me. Bring a whole tithe in the storehouse, that there may be food in my house. Test me in this, says the Lord. Listen to this, guys. Test me in this, and see if I will not throw open the floodgates of heaven and pour out so much blessing there will not be room enough to store it. I'll prevent pests from destroying your crops, and vines in your field will not drop their fruit before it's ripe, says the Lord. Then all the nations will call you blessed, for yours will be delightful land, says the Lord Almighty. Guys, this verse makes it clear. If you want to destroy your finances, don't tithe, and you're going to be under a curse from God. I mean, you really expect God to bless your finances if you're robbing from Him and stealing from Him? Not a good idea. Tithing is only for those who want to be financially blessed. If you don't want the windows of heaven to pour out blessings on you and God's protection over your family and your property, then don't tithe. Because if you tithe, it says right there in the Bible, you're going to be blessed and you're going to be protected. Guys, it's your choice. Number 8. If you want to destroy your finances, don't live on a budget. Living without a budget, guys, is like trying to build a house without blueprints. Right now, our theme for Mantours is under construction, and we've really been talking a lot about building and home improvement. But when you build a house, you have to have blueprints, right? You have to know what you're doing, what you're planning to do. You just can't put up a wall here, pour some cement there, nail a few shingles wherever you want. You have to have direction. In both cases, you're going to end up with the same result, a big mess if you don't have those blueprints. And the same is true if you live your life without a budget. Living a budget avoids the big mess. It gives you a plan to follow to avoid financial destruction. Guys, it tells you how much money you have and where it has to go. It gives you boundaries for how much money can be spent in every area of your life. And guys, let me tell you, it provides freedom. Because you know that when you need something, the money's there. It's an absolute necessity if you want to be financially successful. But if you're trying to destroy your finances, go ahead, avoid living on a budget at all costs. Alright, number 7. If you want to destroy your finances, go ahead and rack up lots of credit card debt. Because, guys, a surefire way to destroy your finances is to buy things you can't afford using a credit card and then delay paying that bill. Because, you know why? It gives the credit card company the right to compound the cost of your purchase. You end up paying way more than the actual cost of the product. They add high interest payments onto the original purchase. And the longer you avoid paying off your credit card, the more interest you're going to accumulate until you pay 2, 3, 4, sometimes even 10 times the cost of your original purchase. Think about that. You pay $20 for something, you end up paying $100 for it in interest. If you had just waited until you had $20, you'd literally be saving yourself $80. And guys, if you let your balance rise high enough, you'll have the opportunity to make a new friend when the phone starts ringing and off the hook, and collection agencies, they want to be paid now. You might even get to move to another part of town if they put a lien on your house or they start repossessing things. Credit card's a wonderful thing. Now, if you want to avoid paying more than your purchases are actually worth, adding to your debt load, hearing from collection agency, if you want to avoid all this, you want to avoid having repossessions and have your stuff taken away, avoid using credit cards or pay off your credit card balance at the end of each month. My personal advice is avoid them altogether, but if you want to destroy your finances, keep charging. Keep those little plastic things running through the machines. But if you want to stay financially secure, either avoid them altogether or make sure you pay it off at the end of the month. Number 6. If you want to destroy your finances, keep secrets about money. Guys, nothing is going to destroy your finances and honestly your relationships like keeping money secrets. When you have secrets in your money and your finances, it removes accountability. It makes you carry the entire burden for managing the money on your own. And it keeps you receiving the help and the wisdom of other people. You don't have other people giving you advice and input when you're keeping secrets about money. Now, if you want to be successful and prosper financially in the future, and if you want to have successful relationships, your family budget needs to be an open, honest document that all members of the family are familiar with, they're accountable with, and they all live according to it. However, guys, if you want to ruin your finances, if you want to ruin your relationships, and you want to ruin your life, keep those money secrets a secret. It's guaranteed to destroy your life. Alright guys, well that's our first 5 ways to completely destroy our finances. If you do these things, you're going to be sure to find yourself in financial ruin. But if you heed these warning signs, you're going to find yourself thriving financially. So what are the final 5 ways to destroy your finances? Well guys, find out after the break.
Follow the Mantour Guy on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks.
Guys, God has been moving mightily at this year's Mantour conferences. Through our first 4 events, we've had 8 men accept Christ as our Savior, 10 men be baptized in the Holy Spirit, and hundreds of men responding around the altar through the powerful challenges in our main sessions. Guys, you do not want to miss your local Mantour conferences. We still have locations coming up throughout the rest of March and April. You can head to MantourMinistries.com to find your local man time to get the date, location, and speakers. But I encourage you, go to your local Mantour conference. God is moving in ways we've never seen before, and I know He has something powerful waiting for you.
For Mantour conference dates and locations, visit MantourMinistries.com. The Mantour Guy Podcast, helping men grow in their walk with God.
You already know the basics of keeping your kids safe online. Maybe you keep your computer in a public place, or you check the browsing history. But did you know that 67% of kids admit to clearing their browsing history? And what about their iPod Touch or their Android tablet? At Covenant Eyes, we want to make it easy for you to protect your kids. And that's why we've created family accounts with all of the users you need and free installation on all of your family's computers, smartphones, and tablets. For a flat rate of $13.99 a month, you can give each person in your home a unique, customized internet experience by giving everyone their own username. Every username gets internet accountability, meaning everyone's browsing history will show up on their own personal accountability report. You can even add the filter to any username for free. So go ahead, start protecting your kids by knowing exactly where they go and what they do online. And we'll be here to help you along the way. So sign up today.
Sign up for Covenant Eyes using the code Mantour at checkout and receive 1 month of free service. Visit CovenantEyes.com today to sign up. And remember, 1 month of free service when you use the code Mantour. That's MANTOUR.
Yep. You're listening to the Mantour Guy Podcast.
Are you looking for a men's ministry resource that will teach your men the basics of what it means to be a man of God? Well, check out Mantour Ministries' book, Putting on Manhood. With 1 Corinthians 13:11 as the foundation, Putting on Manhood shows how to put your childish ways behind you and become the men that God designed for you to be. With the help of God's Word, the Holy Spirit, and a band of brothers, you can grow into true godly manhood. Order your copy today at MantourMinistries.com. You can start today to put on godly manhood.
Order your copy today at MantourMinistries.com.
I know you're gonna dig this.
Like what you're hearing? Head over to iTunes to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Thanks.
Hey guys, Jamie Holden here. Did you know that only 10% of churches have a healthy, thriving men's ministry? That's only 1 out of 10 churches. Well, my mission is to see this number become 100%. Join me in my work with HEUS Missions to help develop men's ministry in the local church. Become a monthly financial investor in the work God called me to do by going to MantourMinistries.com/partner and clicking on the Give Online button. Together, we can see God continue to move among men.
Welcome back to the Mantour Guy Podcast.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Mantour Guy Podcast. Today, we're looking at 10 ways to destroy your finances. These 10 tips are guaranteed to help you just completely ruin any financial security you may have in your life. So let's get back to number 5 here. All right, number 5. If you want to destroy your finances, guys, then gamble and play games of chance. Guys, it never ceases to amaze me the amount of money people waste on gambling, on lottery tickets and other games of chance like this. And yet these same people always seem to be complaining about having no money, and it makes no sense to me. But then again, I'm one of those people who wants to be wise with my finances. I lived through financial disaster in my life. I don't want to live through it again. So for me, it's no gambling at all. It's for people who don't really care about how much money they waste. They don't care if they lose their hard-earned cash. It's worth it for the thrill of the moment. And if you want to jeopardize your financial stability, gambling is definitely one way to go. But to me, I'd rather ignore that thrill of the moment and have financial security for a long, long time. So the choice is yours. You can either play the games of chance and ruin your finances, or you can avoid them altogether and have success financially. Number 4. This is one so many guys do. If you want to destroy your finances, bounce lots of checks and pay high overdraft fees. Guys, a great way to lose your money is by paying it all to the bank in late fees, in overdraft fees, and fees for bounced checks. Just think about it. 3 overdraft fees a month and you'll have $100 less money because you've given it all back to the bank. What do they need it for? What do they need your money for? You need it way more than they do. Now, if you're worried about saving money and you want to prosper financially, balance your checkbook at the end of every day and make sure your account is never overdrawn. If you want to have a financial nightmare in your life, never balance your checkbook. Let the bank drain your accounts, drawing overdraft fees. I personally don't want to do that, and I hope you don't do the same. Number 3, if you want to destroy your finances, guys, let play control your life. One of the principles the Bible teaches us is the value of hard work over play. Diligence in our work is seen as a key to financial success. Proverbs 10 verse 4 says, lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth. And Proverbs 21 verse 5 says, the plans of the diligent lead to profit as surely as haste leads to poverty. On the other hand, the Bible warns us against laziness and too much play. Ecclesiastes 10:18 says, through laziness the rafters sag. Because of idle hands, the house leaks. Guys, ultimately, overindulgence in play is going to destroy us financially. Okay, now, the key word is overindulgence. Face it, guys, we need to have some fun in our lives. We need to have relaxation in our lives. We need to enjoy life and do fun things. But the key word is moderation. It has to be done in moderation and within the confines of what we can afford. And why is that? Well, because, guys, play can get pretty expensive. Tickets to sporting events, movies, theaters, going to amusement parks, and other entertainment facilities, guys, those costs are skyrocketing. And it costs over $200 for the average family to afford to spend one day at a theme park. That's just the cost of admission. It doesn't include food, drinks, and other extras once you get inside. And that is a big chunk out of most people's weekly budget. And combined with the cost of multiple events throughout the week or month, and we find that percentage of our income spent on play is out of control. It's like a monster that eats up our money. Unless we put a cage on it and we set some limits, play will cause us to financial destruction. It's good to have some fun in your life, but we have to keep it in proper finances and proper perspective, and we have to keep it within the budget that we live under. If you do that, you'll be successful while getting relaxation and rest. If you don't and you allow play to get out of control in your life, you're going to destroy your finances. Number 2, if you want to destroy your finances, never say no to yourself or to your kids. Guys, I know, it's really hard saying no. You don't want to be the bad guy all the time saying, we can't afford it or we have to wait or no, you can't have it. You don't want to be saying that all the time. Still, guys, it comes with the responsibility of managing money. If we're going to follow God's principles for money and living on a budget and avoiding debt, you're going to have to learn to say no from time to time when you can't afford something. Whether saying it to yourself or to your families, it's going to be hard to hear, but it's necessary to financially survive. On the other hand, if you want to have lots of debt and have no money for necessities, just keep saying yes to everything. And in no time, you're going to destroy your finances and your family. Alright guys, we're getting to the number 1 thing here, the number 1 way to destroy your finances. So here we go. If you want to destroy your finances, ignore God's financial principles. Matthew 7:13-14 says, for wide is the gate and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. But small is the gate and narrow the road that leads to life, and only a few find it. Psalms 119-105 said, your word is a lamp for my feet and a light on my path. Guys, the Bible has a lot to say about money. Did you know that God's given us more than 2,350 verses in the Bible that instruct us how to handle our money, how to manage our assets, and how to take care of our resources? And the topic of money is second only to the topic of love in the Bible. Jesus said more about money and possessions than almost any other subject. He dedicated over 2/3 of his parables to the subject. Why did God give us all this instruction? Guys, he did it so we could prosper financially and so we could avoid financial destruction. The best way to learn how to be financially successful is to study God's money managing principles. Guys, the fastest way to financial destruction is to avoid learning God's ways and to disobey them once you learn them. Even though many people make this choice, in the end, it's a first-class ticket to financial destruction. Guys, the choice is yours. Which road are you going to take? Alright, so there you have it, guys. 10 ways to destroy your finances. These are like huge do not enter signs, and these 10 things are things that you need to avoid at all costs to thrive financially.
The Mantour Guy's final thought.
Like I said, finances are something we must all deal with in our lives. There's no hiding from money. We need money to have food, for shelter, and everything that we need in life. It's no wonder God talks about money so much in the Bible. And as God's men, we need to make sure we are controlling our finances. We can't let our finances continue to control us. So guys, if you want to learn more about properly handling finances and money, if you want to start living on a budget, I have some recommendations here for you. Their first one is get a copy of The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. This is a great book that has great, easy-to-follow steps that will lead you out of debt and into a total money makeover. I mean, it's no wonder over 5 million copies are sold and it's spent over 200 weeks in the New York Times best-selling list. It's a must-read for all those wanting to become financially independent and to have removed debt from their lives and to live the way that God created them to live. All right, another great ministry is Crown Ministries, and you can find them at www.crown.org. And Crown Ministries makes resources available to help you devise a personal plan to pay off your debt. They include a Crown Money Map and a Crown Money Map coaches. These coaches help you walk through the process of getting your finances in order. So if you need help finding a resource, you need them to recommend a financial counselor in your area, they can help you with that too. It's a very credible, reliable ministry. It's a Christian ministry that's designed to help people gain control of their finances, and I highly recommend them. And the final thing I recommend is the Financial Peace University. And this is a video version of Dave Ramsey's Principles of Money Management. Financial Peace University Online, it can help you take control of your money, invest for the future, and give like never before. It teaches God's principles and it moves you towards financial freedom. Guys, this is great for small group study. A lot of churches are doing that in their churches, offering it as a course. It's a great resources. So these are 3 great resources to help you in your pursuit of handling your finances properly. So as we close today, guys, I want to thank you again, for giving us your time today to listen. If you want to learn more information about our Mantour Conference dates and locations, about our resources, visit mantourministries.com. Thank you for joining us today, guys. I hope you take this podcast to heart and start making necessary changes to have a healthy, thriving finances in your life. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time in the Mantour Guy podcast.
Thanks for listening to the Mantour Guy podcast. Be sure to visit mantourministries.com to learn more about our books, men's ministry resources, and our Mantour conferences.
Hey guys, the Mantour Guy, Jamie Holden here. I'd love to come share at your church, at your men's ministry, at your next men's event, or men's breakfast. I have a challenging word for God's men to help them become the men that God has called them to be. If you'd like to have me come share with your group, visit mantourministries.com to contact me about coming to challenge and encourage your church's men to grow in their walk with God. Did you know that over 33% of girls have seen pornography online before the age of 13? Protect your daughters by installing Covenant Eyes on all your computers and mobile devices. Covenant Eyes blocks all pornography so that it can't reach your little girl and cause damage to her spiritually or emotionally. Sign up today using the code MANTOR and receive 1 month of service free. Guys, that's a no-brainer. Try it for a month and see how it helps protect your precious daughters from the filth of internet porn. Sign up using code MANTOR, MANTOUR at covenanteyes.com today.
The Mantour Guy podcast, helping men grow in their walk with God.